Okay, great. So like I said, have the My Vector demo open. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. That way I can show you exactly what I'm looking at on here. But, thank you, Kathy, for reviewing the importance of page 8 and 9. Super crucial, as we go through the dropping down process to really just follow the manual, okay? You're going to see everything that I teach you is essentially in here. I'm going to be adding a couple things to it. So along with my vector demo, I'd love for you guys to have something to write with, pen and paper, or if you like to take notes on your laptop, you can do that. But you definitely want to put this information somewhere that is accessible, that you don't have to like fumble around your computer, because it's things that you're going to tell your customer while you're on the actual appointment, okay? And it'll make more sense as we go through it. But the first thing that I want you to pay attention to is here on this page 9, right? So hold on, I shared my screen incorrectly. I want to just share, there we go. Okay, so here on this page 9, if you click the actual page 9, so I don't know if you guys saw what I did there. Let me go back one and do it again. So page 9, if you click the actual words page 9, it's going to take you to the rest of the demo with prices already in it, okay? So we're going to go through the prices of all the rest of the sets. I'm going to show you guys how to show your customers the rest of the sets. And then one of the most important keys to not just closing, but closing bigger or closing higher, having a higher closing percentage, is calling in to the office for deals and discounts and stuff like that. Common question I get asked is if, you always have to call into the office forever. And, there's definitely people that are super high in career sales, millions of dollars, who, don't need to call their manager from their appointment. They've been doing this long enough where they know the deals and discounts. However, there's a lot of value in allowing your customer to barter essentially or receive deals from a manager than from you as the rep. And we'll go through that, okay? So right now what you should have done is clicked on page 9, and you should be on this page right here that says close with prices included, okay? Close with prices included. So the dropping down process pretty much begins after you show them the homemaker, and let's say that's an option that they don't really want, right? You guys went over handling knee-jerk reactions with Kathy yesterday. Just to review, a knee-jerk reaction is whenever you ask somebody for something and it's like the first thing that they respond with without even thinking about it, right? Like when you go to the store and they ask if you need help and you automatically say no, but you might be wandering around the store later looking for somebody to help you find the thing that you need. It's just a natural reaction that we have. And there's two main knee-jerk reactions. I want you guys to write this down. There's a price issue and there's a piece issue. Okay, so when a customer gives you a price issue knee-jerk reaction and a piece issue knee-jerk reaction, we're going to handle those two objections differently, all right? Because when somebody gives you a reaction, it's not necessarily a no. There's something behind that that's preventing them from saying yes, right? And it's our job as a representative to find our customer's comfort zone. It's not our job to try and sell them something they don't need. It's not our job to be pushy or to oversell something. We simply just have to find their comfort zone. And so handling the knee-jerk reactions properly and being able to identify if it's a price issue or a piece issue is going to help you be able to determine that and show them something that they're really going to be excited about, right? Because the average for selling homemakers, our average order in the company is just shy of $400. You guys know a homemaker is not $400. So how often do people sell homemakers? Well, it's when somebody's brand new, it's 1 out of 10. And we've had people who start the job and sell, a homemaker on every single appointment, for like their first 10 appointments, right? But that's like a very small percentage of people. So I want to just talk based on averages today. And the average is 1 out of every 10 MAC appointments is going to be a homemaker sale. So we have to get really good at showing them all the other stuff in order to keep your closing percentage high and your average order around where our divisional and our national average order is, okay? So we're going to go through the knee-jerk reactions here, and we're going to identify if it's a price issue or a piece issue, okay? So and then I'll tell you what they mean. So the first one is too much money, can't afford it. That's obviously a price issue. The next one is I need to think about it. That's obviously a price issue. Need to talk to spouse or husband. That one is also a price issue. Okay, we handle that one like a price issue. Too many pieces and can I buy pieces? Those are piece issues. And then lastly, I definitely want to buy later. That is a price issue. We handle that one as a price issue. Okay, so here's the difference between a price issue and a piece issue. A price issue, it doesn't mean that they don't like the homemaker. It just means they're not comfortable with the price. So I'm going to teach you guys how to call into the office, because when you call in, we're going to be able to give you some sort of package deal, discount, maybe give them some extra free stuff. We can't always promise them a discount though, so I wouldn't promise anything until you talk to your manager about it. So when you're talking to your mom or your auntie or whoever, if they're like, oh, I don't know about the homemaker, might be too much money, don't be like, oh, we have a discount, right? That's not how you want to respond, because we don't always have that available, right? So you always want to call into the office, and I'll teach you guys how to do that in a minute, so that we can show them something else. But essentially, you're just going to do exactly what the manual says. And then on top of that, after, they respond to what you say in the manual, you're going to call the office. And like I said, I'll go over that in a second. A piece issue. So how does a piece issue differ from a price issue? A piece issue does mean that they didn't see the value in the pieces of that set, right? So what happens if we continue showing them that set? We're just like beating a dead horse. All right. You're not going to make your customer feel comfortable. They're going to feel like you're pushing them to buy something that they don't feel they need. So the best thing to do when somebody gives you a piece issue is to handle it the same way it says in the manual. But if they don't like it or they don't want it after you say what it says there, you're going to drop down to the next step. Okay. So if I'm taking notes, I would write down price issue, follow the manual, call the manager. Piece issue, follow the manual, and drop down. All right, follow the manual and drop down. Now, by the way, are there times where people say, too many pieces, we read the manual and they do end up getting the homemaker? Yeah, that definitely happens. So you don't want to close the door on that. But on average, if it's a piece issue, you typically want to drop down. All right, so follow the manual and drop down. So I've been talking about calling into your manager. I'm going to teach you now exactly how to do that. And then we're going to practice that this part of the demo really quick. And then we'll come back to see the rest of the sets. And then once I show you the rest of the sets, then we're going to go ahead and practice that. So we're going to be doing 2 rounds of practice. All right. So, Claudia, definitely make sure that you have, the ability to break up into rooms, by the time we're done with this little section right here. Okay, so calling your manager from appointments. So the best way that we can help you guys on your appointments, especially the initial ones, is by talking to you on the actual appointment. It's the best way we can, impact your sales without actually being there and doing, the appointment and doing the closing for you. Okay, so the 2 main questions I always have whenever we talk about calling in is, when do I call in, and what exactly do I say when I call in? So when do you call in? All right, you call in at the point of closing, which is after you've already asked for the order and they gave you a yes or they gave you a no. All right, so I'm going to give you guys an example of this. So here in the homemaker, you say, Miss Jones, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, would you like to try out the homemaker set today and get your free gifts, right? They're either going to say yes, all right, or they're going to say no, and they give you a knee-jerk reaction, right? So when somebody says yes, all right, in sales, when somebody says yes to you, it's kind of like a code for, they're very comfortable with it. So they're going to be comfortable if we show them more things, right? So whenever you call in and because somebody said yes right away, you're going to use a code word essentially with the manager, right? And the reason why we have code words is because, sometimes you're sitting on Zoom and your customer's right there. You don't want to mute yourself and then call us, because that's kind of sketchy. It's like, oh, what are they telling their manager that they can't say in front of me? So it's actually beneficial for you to talk to us on the phone while you're in front of your customer, because number one, it shows trust, it shows transparency, and it gives you the ability to get your customers excited about the deal that you're about to show them. All right. So when somebody says yes, they're going to get something. When you call the office, I want you to write this word down. You're going to say, hey, Mary Lou, hey, Kathy, Claudia, Spencer, whoever, they're definitely getting blank, right? So the code word there is definitely. So definitely, when you call us and you say, hey, they're definitely getting this, that's kind of like a code for us to help you get that order to be a little bit bigger. In sales, typically it takes 3 to 5 no's before you get a yes. So if somebody gives you a yes right away, then my mission is to get 3 to 5 no's so that until the sale's over, right? Now, a lot of new people, they get kind of scared about adding stuff to the order because they're like, well, if we add too many things, then they're not going to want, that original thing, right? Like they're scared to get the order as big as possible. Well, that's not necessarily true. When people see Cutco and they see the value, they see a product that they maybe have never seen before or quality they've never seen before. There are people out there who might just want to replace everything in their kitchen with something that's going to last forever, right? Like my husband and I were in the process of purchasing a home, and we've been talking a lot about the different products that we need to buy for the home, whether it's been, a dining table, a couch, new washer, dryer, whatever it is. And we are very comfortable spending more money if we know we're getting a quality product, right? We want to make sure that we're buying the best things first, so we don't have to replace them later. So we're okay spending more money on a made in USA washer dryer, for example, if it means that it's going to save us, buying another washer dryer sooner than if we bought some like cheaply made washer dryer. So when your customers see a quality product like this, it is common for them to want to get the most products for their money. Kind of the same ideas like when you shop at Costco. Obviously it's more expensive that first day when you purchase it, but over the 2 weeks that those groceries last, you end up saving a lot of money. And customers understand that. So when we add things to the order, they know that they're just going to continue to get a better deal. It's not going to make them scared, to purchase it. Plus, we're showing them prices as we go along. So if they didn't want something, what were they going to say? No, right? And that's no big deal. So when they say yes, don't be afraid to upsell the order. Here's a perfect example of somebody who called in properly and we were able to upsell their order. So we had a rep in Miami, Manny Perez, a high school student, who called me from his appointment selling a homemaker set. And he said, hey, they're definitely getting the homemaker set. I said, okay, great. Did you show her the signature set and the complete set? He said, no, I haven't shown that to her yet. I said, okay, great. Well, since she said yes right away to the homemaker, she might be interested in something a little bit larger. So why don't you show her the signature set and the complete set and see if that's something that she might want. He calls me back and says, hey, she just likes the homemaker set. She doesn't want the signature and the complete set. And I said, okay, great, no problem. By the way, did you show her accessories? Did you show her cookware, flatware? He's like, no, I haven't shown her any of that. I said, okay, great. The next thing I want you to show her is the cookware, and then I want you to show her the flatware, see if she needs to add any of that to her kitchen today. Well, he calls back. It turns out that she actually did need flatware, and she didn't know that Cutco had any. She also got a couple pots and pans, and then after him calling back and forth about 5 or 6 times, the order actually ended up being over $6,000, right? So it went from being a $1,300 order to a $6,000 order. Now, yes, very exciting, right? Is every homemaker sale you call in with going to be a $6,000 order? Absolutely not, right? But the point of that is he would have never had that $6,000 order unless he called in and had somebody directing him to do that. Now, as he got more experienced and he did more appointments, do you think he had to call in every time once he was like over $40,000, $50,000 in sales? No, right? But in the beginning, it's crucial because number one, it helps you learn the presentation better. And number two, it helps you learn the deals and the discounts. So the more you call in, the more you're setting yourself up to be a better representative now and for the future as well. Okay. So that's if yes, right? If yes, you call in and you say that they're definitely getting it. So let's talk about when they're not getting it, right? So we do exactly what I mentioned before, which is price issue, piece issue. If they're if it was a price issue, remember you follow the manual, then you call the office. If it's a price issue, you're going to follow the manual and drop down essentially to the next step. But when it is a price issue, you follow the manual and you call in. The code word, the keyword that we use there is, hey, Mary Lou, Claudia, Spencer, whoever, my customer is considering the homemaker set. So the keyword there is considering, right? So the first one was definitely, and that one tells us to upsell your order. Considering tells us that you need a deal on that order, right? So like I mentioned, we might give you a discount, or we might give you extra free stuff that you can offer them, right? The key is not to promise them anything until we give you, you know, the deal or the discount, whatever it is. Your only job at this point, once you start calling into us, is just to sell whatever deal we give you. So if you don't get excited about the deal that we give you, there's no way your customer is going to be excited about it, right? And it's important as we go through the dropping down process that you have no loss of enthusiasm. Like if somebody doesn't buy the homemaker, whatever, right? No problem, Miss Jones. I have another set that you're going to absolutely love, right? Because if you sit there and get super upset about it, does that allow Miss Jones to get excited to see more stuff? No, it bums her out. Nobody likes saying no, right? Like nobody likes to see something that they really want and not be able to get it, right? So your job is to keep that customer excited so that they want to see something smaller, okay? So the key here is to be excited. So when you call in and say they're considering, maybe I say, hey, you know what, Jennifer, you can tell them that we're going to take, you know, $200 off, or we're going to actually give them, you know, extra free stuff. We're going to give them $375 in free stuff. By the way, this is all just hypothetical. Then your job is to then go to your customer. You'll never guess what my manager just said. This deal is amazing. You know, she said that instead of spending the $13.26, write that down, cross that out. She said that it's only going to be $11.26 today, or $11.26, which is, you know, $2.50 whatever today, right? How does that sound? So it's just conveying that excitement. That's what's going to help you close the orders, right? So just to review this little section here, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what I want you guys to practice for the first role play. If you're with a customer and they're definitely getting something, that means that they said yes to the homemaker, right? If they're just considering something, that means that you had to go through a knee-jerk reaction and then you called the office. Definitely means we're going to help you upsell. Considering means that we're going to help give you a deal and discount, and it's really your job to get as excited as possible, okay? So what I want to do now is I want you guys to pretty much role play here the knee-jerk reactions, because I don't think you guys had a chance to do that yesterday. But I want you guys to start from, Miss Jones, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, would you like to try out the homemaker set and get your free gifts? I want the partner to say yes one time. That way you can practice calling in. And then I want you to say no a bunch of times with the knee-jerk reactions. Oh, wait, actually, before we do that, I forgot one thing. And that is the phrase that you tell your customers before you call in, okay? So everybody write this down. So what you're gonna tell your customer to be able to call us is, let me call my manager to check in, right? Or sorry, to verify my appointment and to check up on any bundles, packages we may have. All right. So number one, you know, you're telling your customer, I have to check in from this appointment so my manager knows it's valid. Nobody's going to object to that. They all want you to get credit for it. That's why they booked the appointment with you. And then you follow up with, let me check on any bundles and packages that we may have. That way they know you're going to come back with a deal. So it's not like a surprise, you know, when you hang up the phone. All right. So let me call my manager real quick to verify my appointment and to check up on any bundles and packages that we may have. So real quick, I'll do one knee-jerk reaction with you guys and how I want you guys to role play that, and then we'll go into rooms, okay? So, and I'll leave this phrase on here while I do this. So the first knee-jerk reaction is the too much money, can't afford it one. So basically what that sounds like is first they say no, and you're like, okay, no problem. If you don't mind me asking, what is it about the homemaker you're unsure of? oh, honey, you know, I just think it's too much money. I can't afford it. I completely understand. You know, 1326 is a lot at once. That's why most of our customers split it up over 5 months interest free, and it would only be $289 per month. How does that sound? You know, I'm really still not sure. Okay, hey, no worries. Let me go ahead and call my manager real quick, just to verify my appointment and to check up on any bundles and packages that we may have. All right, so pretty simple. We're going to go ahead and go into breakout rooms so you guys can practice those real quick. And when you come back, we're going to go through all the sets. It's really easy to show them. And then we'll do that final role play.
Real quick, I want to say something here from just the two rooms I got to visit. I didn't get to see everybody, but I want to make sure we're all super clear on this because this was a question that came up, which was a great question. So if they say yes, you know, like Mary Lou said, if they say yes, then you're going to call us and say, hey, my customer's definitely getting a homemaker, wanted to see what bundles or packages, you know, were happening. And what we're going to do is we know that we're going to show you, we're going to help you upsell. Everyone got that? So we know that when you call and say, oh, they're definitely getting this, they already said yes. If you got a knee-jerk reaction, which is at least half of your demos, if not more, if you get a knee-jerk reaction or a no, which would be the other ones, then that's where you call and say, hey, my customer's considering, right? Like if they're like, I like it, but I don't know, but like they like that set. But if they were like, I don't want that set, that's too many pieces, do the knee jerk. And if they just don't want that set, then you can drop to the galley, which we're gonna go through now, cool? So again, they say yes, you're calling in, like Mary Lou said, hey, they're definitely getting blank. So we know we're gonna help you make the sale bigger. If they say, if you call us and say they're considering, that means that they like the homemaker, but like, you know, it's either too much right now, or they don't know if they want to swing, or, you know, like they're on the fence. They haven't said yes, but they like it, but they haven't said yes, but they haven't said no. They're like, I don't know. That's where you're, you know, hey, my customer's considering this, just wanted to see what deals or, you know, and we can help you with that. And by the way, we'll end up closing at least half of those. And if not, we're going to drop down to the galley and we're going to go from there. So Mary Lou, back to you.
Okie dokie. So, real quick, I think Jennifer was trying to get back into the training.
I'll take care of that.
So, let's go back to your manuals here. All right. So let's go back to your manual to where we left off. So just like Kathy said, you know, we drop down to the galley set, you know, if they just don't want the homemaker set, right? Or, you know, we'll direct you to show them the galley set. Like, let's say you called in and it was a price issue and we showed them a deal or package and they didn't go for it. When you call us back, we'll probably direct you to go to the galley set. So, you know, if they don't go for a deal that we give you, you know, when it's a price issue, then you just drop down to the galley set. And where you're going to find that is here on page 10. And so you'll see here, it says, if your customer loves the homemaker +8, but is on the edge, call office for approval. You already know that. And then you start where it says here, next is our galley set. It's a perfect starter set and it'll take care of all your needs. I want to show you real quick on your Cutco demo where to find that so that you know that your customer's in the right spot. So when they're on, you know, this section where it says set options is the main screen on here. Okay. I want you guys to write down that the galley set is on slide 6. So when you're here, you should tell your customer, okay, can you go ahead and click the drop down and click slide 6 for the galley set? This is the perfect starter set and it takes care of all your needs. And then you'll notice here it says explain the pieces in the set. So it has a picture here. So all you have to do is literally read the manual. It says, as you can see, it has the paring knife for the air, trimmer for small stuff, spatula for sandwiches, a meat knife, a serving piece, a veggie chopper, and a bread knife, and it still comes with 6 table knives. So it's basically the homemaker set, but it just doesn't come with the master carving set, the butcher knife, and it comes with 2 less table knives. All right, but it's still a really great set. It's a few less knives for a lot less money, as it says right here. And instead of paying $13.26 for the homemaker, again, every time we quote a price of a set, what are we going to do? we're going to write it down. So we say the galley set is only, go ahead and write this down, Miss Jones, $9.57. Okay, now I want you to go ahead and cross that out and write down 209 and circle that. So circle the 209. So it's 209 per month for 5 months, interest free, which is only about saving about 52 bucks per week. And the basic galley is only $7.39. So basic meaning no table knives, or $162 per month for 5 months. Okay. Now, my advice to you guys is if somebody said yes to the table knives, when you're showing them the homemaker set, then I wouldn't even, talk to them about the basic galley set. Just quote them the price of the galley plus 6 set. Okay. If you know that they didn't want table knives, then quote the price of the basic galley set. All right. And then we're going to go and tell them about the buy now bonus. So you'll notice that every time we close on a set, we're using the same framework that we used for the homemaker set. So you guys should already know what to do here. Buy now bonus. If you get this set today, I can still include the entertainer pack or super shears for free. Is that something you'd like to get today? So when they say yes, congratulations, you're going to love your Cutco. While I write that up, let's look at accessories. Now, when they say yes, we're going to say, you're going to look at the accessories and then you're going to call us. You're going to tell your customer, let me call my manager real quick just to verify the appointment and check up on any bundles and packages we may have. And of course, since they said yes, you're going to say, hey, Kathy, Spencer, Claudia, whoever, my customer is definitely getting the galley set, right? At this point, they might have or might not have already seen the accessories. So it's important to let us know the things that they're definitely getting and the things that they're considering. So, let's say you showed them the galley set and it doesn't come with the butcher knife, but they really, really, really liked it. Then you can call us and say, hey, Mary Lou, my customer is definitely getting the galley set, but she really liked that butcher knife and is considering it, right? That'll help us come up with a deal for your customer. So be as specific as you can when you're giving us a call. But we're just going to follow the same format as we did with the homemaker set. If they're unsure, then we say, if it makes a difference, we can do something else for free instead. You can substitute any of the free items that we offer them for an item of equal or lesser value, all right? And so here it says the same thing that I taught you guys, to call the office. So if they're unsure, you call us and you say that they're considering it, right? Using the same exact phrasing, the same exact framework that we use for the homemaker set, all right? So let me call my manager to verify my appointment, check up on any bundles and packages we may have. Call us up. Hey, they're considering the galley set. Okay, great. And then we'll go ahead and direct you on what to do from there. But that's the galley set. So as you can see, this is a great set. It's still very well priced, $9.57, $7.39. As you can see, we haven't even reached, the sets that are equivalent to what are like national average, regional average, divisional average, and office average orders are. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because you have to sell a little bit of everything in order to be considered like a well-rounded representative, right? Like you don't have a healthy business if you're selling like homemakers or nothing, or complete sets or nothing, or if you're only selling pieces, or if you're only selling one thing. You're running a healthy, business when you're able to help a customer find their needs and sell a little bit of everything, right? Because every single person is different. And so our starter sets are awesome, and they're great for people who just want to get, their Cutco collection started. So I'm really pumped to show you guys the starter sets, and you'll see that these are well within, our average order range. All right. What does that also tell you? That also tells you that when I said earlier, it takes 3 to 5 no's to get a yes. They said no to the homemaker, no to the galley. Now we're going to show them the starter set. It's time to start getting a yes right around here or right after this, right? If somebody's going through like that traditional process of giving objections. So the starter sets are great sets, and we have 4 main sets. 2 of them come in blocks and 2 of them come in trays. All right. So let me go ahead and show you again on your Cutco demo. So this is your customer's website, where to find those, so you can write down those slide numbers. So you can find the ones that come in the blocks on slide 7. All right. As you can see here, these are called the essential set and the studio set. Now, all of the sets that have table knives, except for the signature and the complete set, which are the two larger family sets, also have a basic version, right? So that means you can also offer them an essential set without table knives and a studio set without the table knives, okay? Now, the two starter sets that come in trays are on slide 8, all right? So if you want to write that down, the tray sets. It's called the all-knife set and the kitchenette set. My personal favorite starter set, aside from the essential set, if we're talking about tray sets, is the all-knife set, because it comes with, you know, some of the most essential tools of the homemaker set, right? But I also love the essential set. And as you guys continue showing the product, you're gonna have like favorite sets, favorite knives that you show customers. But we're gonna show this the same way that we showed the other sets. The only difference is that instead of quoting each set by set by set by set, we're going to show them all 4 sets, see which one of those sets they like best, and then quote the price, all right? So we're gonna show them, we're gonna tell them, hey, Ms. Jones, go to slide 7. We're gonna show them and explain the Essentials Plus 5 and the Studio set. We're gonna show and explain the all knife and the kitchenette set. And then we're gonna ask them which combination they like best. And we're gonna only quote that price, all right? Because if we were to quote the prices of all 4 sets at one time or back to back to back to back to back, it's just gonna be too confusing for the customer. And a confused mind never buys. Like, the clearer you can be, the more likely it is your customer is going to purchase something. That's partially why we have customers write things down, especially prices, because that way they're able to see everything clearly on paper, so they know what they're paying today and what they're purchasing, right? So let's go over to the manual. So the first step in showing the starter sets is we say these next 2 slides show the starter sets. Great for building up over time, and gifts for family and friends. So this first set that you see here is the Essentials Plus 5. This one comes with just the very basics: a paring knife, a spatula spreader, a turning fork, petite carver, and chef knife. By the way, if you were going through the homemaker set and your customer made a comment on a specific knife, like a lot of customers comment on the spatula spreader and say, oh, I've never seen a knife like that before, that's really cool. Then you can comment on that as you're going through this. So for example, you can say, this one comes with the very basics: the paring knife, the spatula spreader that you thought was super cool, the turning fork, petite carver, and chef knife. So that's a good little way to personalize, you know, the demo. Is if a knife stood out to them, you know, in the homemaker set or when you were explaining it, you can tie it back in here, because that also helps build excitement towards that set, right? Then the Studio Plus 4 set. This is our smallest block set, but still comes with 4 great pieces: paring knife, trimmer, petite carver, and spatula spreader, right? It doesn't say it on here, but I always like to add that, you know, the Essentials comes with 5 table knives and the Studio comes with 4, all right? Then we have our tray sets on the next slide. So that's slide 8, right? Slide 8, which is the all knife set and the kitchenette set and trays. These tray sets are great for people who want to keep their knives stored in a drawer. The all knife comes with the paring knife, the trimmer, the chef knife, the carving knife, and the spatula spreader. And the kitchenette comes with the bread knife, the turning fork, the petite carver, the paring knife, and the trimmer. So key question right here: out of these starter sets, which combination do you like best? And then they'll tell you which one they like. And then you say that set is only blank per month, depending on which one, you know, they liked. We have all the prices right here. Now, if you did not click on page 9, when I had you guys click on page 9 in the beginning, these prices will not be here. So super important that you guys click on page 9. That way you have all the prices revealed to you. So when you get to this section, you're not like scrambling for prices. All right. So that set is only, let's say they chose the Essentials Plus 5. That set is only 160, write this down, Ms. Jones, 164 per month for 5 months. And that includes tax, or $747 in full. All right. Now I want you guys to take note of how great our starter set prices are. Take a look at this. So if a customer were to choose the least expensive set, we would be looking at the kitchenette set, right? So 436, that's 97 bucks a month. That's 24 bucks a week. How many of you on this Zoom call right now can spend 24 bucks a week? Or spend 24 bucks a week already, whether it's random Chick-fil-A, Whataburger, Cane's, you know, going to the movies, putting gas in your car. 24 bucks a week to you is not even that much. To somebody who is married, average age, owns a home, even less, right? So even if you were to sell like only kitchenette sets this weekend, let's say you have 7 appointments lined up, you know, you're going to sell at least 3 of those. Let's say you just sold a kitchenette on all 3 of those. That's already your first promotion, just to put this into perspective for you guys. So for those of you thinking that you only have to sell large sets to really move the needle on your promotions, I'll tell you what makes the difference between somebody who, you know, sells 10,000 for their fast start and becomes a great representative to somebody who does well on their fast start and doesn't become a great representative is that the people who are able to recognize that each customer has a different need and they sell a multitude of the sets, not just like one set, those are the ones that gain the most success, right? So don't get hung up on just trying to sell homemakers all the time. You know, be okay selling everything else, right? Or showing everything else. And the customer is going to help guide you towards, you know, what it is exactly that they need. And then you also have us, the managers, guiding you to guide the customers on, you know, what set's going to be the best one for them, right? And the next thing I'll show you guys is, you know, customizing orders. I want to be clear that customizing, there's nothing wrong with it. We have customers who customize every single day. We have customers who buy pieces every single day. But I know as a representative and doing this for a long time, especially showing friends and family, that they do get the best deals with sets. It just is what it is. They already come discounted. They're definitely not going to spend as much money over time when they start with a set than when they start with pieces. So that being said, whenever your family asks if they can buy pieces, it's super important to handle that properly. If you notice, sprinkled throughout the entire manual is the response for can I just buy pieces, right? You see it here, you see it up here in the knee-jerk reactions. You want to practice that and know how to handle that, because your customer can ask that at any point of the presentation. And we're not going to like prevent them from buying pieces, but if you know something is going to cost them less money in the long run, it's okay to want to show them sets, right? And so with that being said, you know, with your friends and family, don't just like hop down to pieces because they say that's what they want. Go through the entire process, all right? Go through the entire process because they don't know what we have to offer because they're not Cutco reps. So they don't know that we have starter sets. They don't know that we have things that are lesser priced. They're just thinking, what's the cheapest thing that I can get, right? And that's why they're asking about pieces. So be comfortable going through the entire process. Dropping down is a slow process. It's not a fast process. So you just have to take it step by step and follow the manual, right? So after starter sets, this is where we're going to get into customization. And it's super simple, but only if you follow the manual. Okay. So going further down. Okay. So to wrap up this section, it's the same thing as the other sets. You know, if you get the set today, you can still have the super shears for free. Is that something you'd be interested in getting today? If yes, congratulations, you're going to love your Cutco. While I write that up, let's look at accessories. And then you call us and you say to your customer, let me call my manager to verify my appointment, to check up on any bundles, packages we may have. And since they said yes, you say, hey, Mary Lou, they're definitely getting the kitchenette set. They're definitely getting the all-knife set. But they really liked the slicer. They're considering that. Okay, great. And then we'll give you a deal. If they're unsure about it, then it's the same thing. No problem. You can customize your own set. Before you even would get to this, I would call in to us and use the considering phrasing. Okay, so that's the only thing that the manual skipped here is offering them something else with the starter set. So make sure that you call in so we can give you those deals, and then you would jump to the next thing, which is customizing your own set. All right, so let's go ahead and scroll down here to the customizing section, and on the Your Cutco demo, so your customer side, there's going to be two main slides that we use. It's fine to just stay on slide 9. That way they can see all the different pieces that we have to offer right there.
Hey, Mary Lou?
Yeah. You know, get a yes, and then get an unsure, and then going down to the starter sets.
Yeah, like for this role play, show them the galley, and then representative show the galley. Whoever's the customer, say, can I just buy pieces? Then reply to that, and then show them the starters, and then customer, pick a starter set you like and say yes. Cool, that's it. So again, representative, whoever of the two is playing the rep, you're going to show them the galley, and then you're going to ask, or you're going to ask them for the order. Hey, do you want to go ahead and do that? Customer's going to say, can I just buy pieces? Rep, you're going to answer, can I just buy pieces? And then you're going to answer them, show them the starters, and customer's going to say, oh yeah, I want that essentials, and then say yes and done. So you're going to sell your first starter set, and then we'll come back. If they don't do that, what to do with customizing, okay? And a great question from somebody that I wanted to address. So how are you doing your demos? Calling us in front of them. What does that mean, right? So most of our guys use a video cam, just like this, right? So whether it's Google Hangout, FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, like they like to be on video so they can chat with the customer and they have their script right up. The customer can't see your script, right? You're telling them what to have on their computer. So they're looking at a browser while they're talking to you. So for anyone who is savvy with internet and stuff, like your customers are, like, I think it's awesome for them to see your face, see your excitement, see your nonverbals. Do you need it? No, you can do everything over the phone. Most of my top guys did everything over the phone. They didn't even look at the customer, all right? But I love looking at people, so I like having the visual. So it's totally up to you. So if you're on camera, they're in front of you and on your computer, and then you're calling us like, oh, my customer's considering this, you know, so they're right there, they're looking at you, right? Or if you're at the house live, you're right in front of them. So that's why we have the code words of like, hey, they're considering, they're definitely getting, because typically they're in front of us on camera, or, you know, at the house. But if you're on the phone, you're just gonna click over. You're gonna say, hey, let me call my manager real quick. And click over and call out. And Mary Lou, did you already reference like what to do or what not to do in terms of like merging or whatever? Did you already talk about that?
No, I didn't talk about that yet.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys, when you call us, like, let's say you're on the phone with them, right? You didn't do a video. So you're on the phone with them and now you're going to call us. Say, hey, Ms. Jones, let me call my manager real quick. Stay on the line though. I'm going to call her real quick and then I'll be right back. So all you do on your phone, it lets you add a call, right? On most, you just put add a call, you call us, call your team leader, our manager, and you'll tell them like, hey, I'm on the other line with my customer. So just tell them that. Here's what they're looking at, talk to your manager and let them know. If you ever want them to talk to your customer, do not automatically call us and merge it, all right? Because we want to coach you and teach you what to do. And I'd rather tell you and then you tell the customer so you learn. If you're very nervous though, and you're like, oh my God, please talk to my customer, no problem. We can do that. Cool. So just call and say, hey, Mary Lou, they're looking at this, that, or hey, Justin, they're looking at this. Is there any way that you could talk to my customer for me, or you could tell them the deal? Like, we've had some people that are super nervous at first. We'll do it for you. You'll be on the phone, so you'll listen and you'll learn. All right. And then we'll say, yeah, go ahead and merge us. And then you merge it. But always tell us first before you merge it. So that way we can best serve you. And, you know, like sometimes we'll like pick up the phone and we'll be like, what's going on? Homemaker hot lunch, it's rocking it up. And your customer would be like, what the hell just happened? So that's for you guys, not for the customers. So just let us help you serve them at the highest level. All right. So I'm going to hand it back over to Mary Lou to keep rolling here with the drop down.
Last section here. Alrighty. So I know that this drop down section is a little long. It should be equally, or if not longer, on your appointment. Okay. I cannot stress enough how little you want to rush through this with your customer. You want to go slow and be as clear as possible, especially in this section here, customizing. All right. So going back to your customer's demo, remember that to help them customize, you want to make sure that they're on slide 9. All right. So write that down, that customizing takes place on slide 9 for your customer. And then for you guys, it's over here on page 12. So if you guys head over to page 12, you should just be scrolling down there. And we get to customizing options. This is where you start talking. So Miss Jones, you can customize your own set and I can still get you something for free. Again, no loss of enthusiasm, right? The more you drop down, it's like the more excited you should get for your customer, just to keep them tied in and excited about the next thing that you're about to show them. So special number 1. All right, Miss Jones, let's make a list of your 5 favorite pieces that you see yourself using the most. All right, so they should be on here and they should be able to, you know, read off to you the 5 knives that they feel like they would use the most. All right, then you say, great, can you give me 1 minute to work on those prices? Then it says here that you're gonna silently add up the individual prices of the 5 knives, and before we finish training today, you're going to have access to the price list. So you're gonna be able to easily just like go to the price list, look at the price, jot it down, right? And that's why it's also important to make sure that you're set up before every presentation. Like doing a presentation is not like waking up to go to an 8 a.m. virtual class. It's not like, oh, let me roll out of bed at 7:50 and just hop on the computer at 8 a.m., right? You want to make sure that you take 5 to 7 minutes before each appointment to get set up. What should you have? You should have, you know, your laptop ready to go with your script on it. You should have any notes that you need by you with a notebook, and have the calculator open on your phone. Old school, I like to have the actual calculator. Remember those things that they would sell? They're like blocks and they have numbers and you press add and subtract and all that calculator. I like to have an actual one next to me because that way I can use my phone to call my manager, right? So, but you guys are going to find the setup that works best for you. But it's going to be crucial to have everything ready to go, especially when you get to this section of the presentation. So you're going to add up the prices of the 5 knives they picked and divide the total by 5 months. That's going to give you the monthly payment, right? So then you say, okay, I'm ready with the price for you. You can jot this down. The total for your customized set is blank, which breaks down to blank per month on a 5 payment plan. Now, if you get these 5 knives today, I can give you a pair of super shears or 4 table knives for free. Which free option would you prefer? Great. Would you like to go ahead and get this custom set today? And you guys already know what to do here. When they say yes, you say great, you're going to love your Cutco. You call in, you say definitely. If they're unsure, you can call and say considering. And if they're still not sure, then you're going to go to the next thing, right? So we follow the same instructions for each step of the manual, right? So then you show them special number 2. All right, so the first one is selecting their 5 favorite pieces and offering free shears or free table knives. Now, for the 5 favorite pieces, they cannot choose 5 table knives. Does it make sense if somebody buys 5 table knives that they would get 4 table knives for free? No, right? So that's the only thing with the 5-piece special is they cannot pick 5 table knives. It has to be 5 kitchen knives, all right? So special number 2, this special is really popular, which is your buy 3, get 1 free. Out of those 5 that you already picked, which one knife could you live without? So that would leave you with 4 knives, right? The way that we do the buy 3, get 1 free is we charge them for the 3 highest priced knives and they get the cheapest knife for free. That's the only way that our system will register it, right? So, you know, let's say they chose $100, a $50, an $80, and another $50 knife, then obviously you're going to add up 100, 50, and 80, and then they're going to get the other $50 knife for free, right? So add up the 3 highest priced, divide that total by 5 if it's over 400. As you can see here, the instructions, right? So you just follow this. If it's over $200, then you can do it by 3 months. And if it's over $70, then you do it by 2 months. And then you write that down in your notebook and you say, okay, Miss Jones, for the, you know, and this is just random, spatula spreader, trimmer, petite carver, and butcher knife, that's only blank in full or, you know, $80 a month for 5 months. Does that sound better for you? If yes, great. You'll love those pieces. Let's take a look at accessories just so you know what else is available to add either for now or in the future. Go ahead and open up the third slideshow. If no, no problem. Miss Jones, what's your 2 favorites? okay, give me 1 second just so I can show you our last special. But again, you're just following the same instructions that we did for all the other sets. Yes is definitely, no is considering, and then if they still no, we move on to the next thing, right? So the third special is the free gadget special. This is when they can choose 2 knives, and they can get the ice cream scooper, the veggie peeler, or a large cutting board for free, okay? So, you do the same thing as the other ones. You have them choose those 2 knives. You're going to take a second to total it up, figure out the payments, and then you say, I can give you the scoop, veggie, or large cutting board for free. How does that sound? And you do the same, if yes, if no. The last part of dropping down, the final thing is, they've said no to the homemaker, to the galley, to the starter sets, to special 1, 2, and 3. Then finally, you get to just showing them 1 piece, all right, which is reserving your buy now bonus. If your customer loves Cutco, right, and they plan on buying Cutco in the future, so you're going to have people when you get to the specials, they're like, honey, I love this stuff, but I just can't get it today. I'm going to get it in the future. Don't worry. Call me in a month to buy the homemaker set, right? If somebody tells me, call me in a month to buy the homemaker set, here's what I know is the day that I show them Cutco, that is when their value and the belief in the product is the highest, right? Come tomorrow, it's not going to be as valuable to them, right? Because they're not going to be showing or seeing a Cutco presentation every day. So 30 days are going to go by. A whole month is going to go by before they even think about Cutco again. And then when I call them out of the blue to write up that homemaker, the likelihood of them purchasing something that they promised me 30 days ago is not very high, right? Because the same value, excitement, and the quality that they were able to see on that day when they saw it is just not going to be the same on day 30, right? The value that they see in the product is going to be even less than the day that they saw it. So whenever somebody promises me an order, I just take that as a no, right? I take that as a no, unless I can get them to buy 1 piece today. Because here's what happens. Unlike them not having value and quality in the product a month from now, if I can get even just a trimmer in their hands, sooner, that value is going to be even greater. Why is it going to be greater? Because they're going to have a piece of the product. And when they have a piece of Cutco and they start to use it, it's going to be their favorite piece in the kitchen. They're going to use it, abuse it. They're going to destroy that trimmer. So when I call them 30 days from now and I talk about the homemaker set again, it's going to make a lot more sense. And it's more likely they're going to purchase it than if I just took that promise order for later on. Okay. So if somebody tells you at this point or any point, like, hey, I'm going to get it a month from now, you still want to drop down at least to get 1 piece today. Because if you can get at least 1 piece in their hand, then you're definitely going to set yourself up for sales in the future. All right. But if you don't get any Cutco in their hand, it's going to be not likely that they get a set later on. And by the way, that's why a bunch of our business every year is repeat customers who bought a starter set and are now upgrading to, a larger set. Customers who bought 1 or 2 pieces that are now upgrading to a starter set, homemaker set, complete set, whatever it is, right? So ensuring that your customer gets, number one, what they need today, and at least 1 piece, you're setting yourself up for sales later on, for upgrades later on, okay? So it's important that when you get to this section that you stress why the buy now bonus is important. The buy now bonus is basically a deal that we can only give them the first time that we show them Cutco, or if they're a Cutco owner, all right? So we can only offer them deals and discounts if it's our first presentation with them, or they already own a piece of Cutco. All right. So that encourages them to buy today so that they can become a Cutco owner, get their name in the system, and later on when they choose to upgrade, they can get deals and discounts on those sets. So here's what you say. You say exactly what's here in the manual. Miss Jones, as long as you can get at least something today, my office will allow me to throw in free stuff when you upgrade later. It's called reserving the buy now bonus. And of course, you'd still be helping me towards my goals, but let's see how much your favorite piece would be. Which is your number 1 favorite piece of Cutco? And they're going to say, trimmer, petite carver, whatever it is, you're going to divide it by 2. We're going to do a 2 payment plan on whatever knife it is. That is only blank today. which is only blank. That's only blank in total, which is only blank per month. And on a 2-pay plan, which breaks down to, you can do it per day or per week, whatever you want. You can try it out for 2 weeks, and if you like it, keep it. And if not, just return it for a full refund, but I'm sure you'll love it. Would you like to get that piece today? If they say yes, awesome. You'll love that piece. I want to show you the accessories just so you know what else is available to add in the future. I'd hate for you to find out later that I didn't show you everything that was available and I missed something you would have loved. So go ahead and open the third slideshow. If they say no, again, super important not to lose enthusiasm. And one reason why it's important not to lose enthusiasm and to still make them feel comfortable and not pressured is because after we write up the order, we go straight into recommendations. So if their energy is low and like sad for not getting something, then that's going to directly affect the amount of recommendations that you get. So that's why it's constantly important to make sure that your customer's feeling comfortable, and that they're still feeling excited, and they still feel like they're helping you, towards your goals. Okay. So again, if somebody promises you an order later, try and get one piece in their hand. I personally recommend, and if you guys want to write this down, you can, is a trimmer or a Santoku trimmer, which is just a different shaped trimmer. So the trimmer and the Santoku trimmer are great. I'd also recommend a petite carver, anything really with the double D edge. And the reason why I'd recommend a double D edge over a straight edge is because the double D edge is what makes Cutco Cutco, right? It's like people have used straight edge knives before, but if they've never used a Cutco knife, then they've never used a double D edge. And that's like one of the premier selling points, of our product is that patented edge. So I want to try and get one of those in their hands first before anything else. Okay. So just to go ahead and review this customization section, it's super simple as long as you follow the manual. All right. If you get confused at all, here is the benefit of working, in an office under the managers that you guys have, running your offices, is that you can call us at any point in the presentation if you're confused, need help totaling something, and we're going to help you out. Okay. So don't be shy to call us and say, hey, I'm with my customer right now. I'm trying to customize this. I'm super confused on how to do it. Can you help me? And we will walk you through step by step. So again, I just want to review that calling in serves 2 main purposes. Number 1, it's going to help you increase your closing percentage and increase your average order. So the likelihood that you're going to get sales and get larger sales is a lot higher than if you didn't call in. And the second reason you call in is because it helps you shorten your learning curve. You're going to learn the presentation faster. You're going to become a top rep a lot faster. I'll tell you this, our top representatives, I can remember their names. I can remember orders that they had. I can remember even customers that they had for the amount of frequency that they would call in. And I always knew somebody was going to be a top rep the more that I spoke to them. Like if I spoke to them a whole bunch on their appointments, or my assistant managers did, I knew that person was going to be successful, because the more you reach out to people who've already done what you're doing, right? Who've already been successful in the position that you're in, the more likely it is that you're going to be successful, right? Like imagine this, imagine you're a basketball player and you got, every time you were going to go take a shot, Michael Jordan took over your body and took the shot for you, right? How successful would you be as a basketball player? You'd be super successful, right? Insert your favorite NBA player here, right? Whoever it is that you like. I'm just going to say Michael Jordan because he's the most known. But if you played basketball and every time you took a shot, he took over your body and took the shot for you, that's the same thing as calling in from your appointments, right? It's like you're doing the presentation, but at the moment of closing, if you call the manager, we're taking over the presentation for you, and we're taking the shot for you, right? And we've already sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of Cutco, so why wouldn't you want to use this, right? I already gave you guys the example of Manny Perez, but I mean, I can even tell you just one of our top representatives, who's now the sales manager in the Conroe office, John Austin. When he first started with us, he literally would call at every step of the presentation. And by the way, he wasn't only one of our best sellers that summer, but went on to be one of our best representatives, one of the number one new branch manager that next summer. And he ended up becoming a top just sales leader outside of Cutco too. And he credits that to all the skills that he learned here. But I can tell you it all started with calling in. His first weekend on the job, I think he hit his first promotion in his first couple days, and hit his second promotion by mid next week, and ended up having an over $10,000 fast start. Even when he was at $20,000 in sales and we had our SC2 competition, he would call me from every single appointment. All right. Even this summer, he's been doing this since 2016. So 4 years now. He was the number 3 representative in the Gulf Coast for the Super Bowl. He was calling in from every single appointment and sold $24,000, in a 15-day time period, right? So even from when he was a brand new rep to a more experienced rep, he realizes the value that calling in adds, right? Even in Miami, we had the office Kathy had developed since like 2005, since 2008. When I got there, we had a landline. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like a phone that's like connected to your house wall. But we had landlines, and that's where people would call in to get their orders closed. And I remember being a brand new manager, and some of the Cutco sales professionals who are millions in dollars of sales, career sales, by the way, they would call in just because they know the value that adds to their appointments. Now I'd be like super confused on, why it is that they were calling. And then I remember Kathy explaining to us, like, you guys don't understand the value of calling in, whether you're at $0 in career sales or 20 million in career sales. It just adds value to that appointment. And, Kathy or Claudia, I don't know if you guys have any other stories of people calling in that you wanted to mention, but like those are always my favorite to tell.